Hello, I'm Thiago and this is the Go Anime channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the anime Uncle from Another World, licensed by Netflix. The anime begins in the year 2017, when Takafumi goes to visit his uncle Yousuke Shibazaki in the hospital. Yousuke had been in a coma for 17 years after being hit by a truck, as happened in many isekai anime, but finally he woke up. This makes it a different kind of isekai, showing the character's life after returning from the other world. The uncle, or Oji-san, fell into a coma when he was 17 to 18 years old and woke up at the age of 34 to 35. He woke up speaking a very strange language that was not of this world. In fact, it was the language of Grand Bahamau, the other world where he lived while in a coma. Hearing that strange language, Takafumi began to believe that he had gone crazy. Takafumi, a young man in need of money, had brought documents for his uncle to sign so that he could access his uncle's money and maybe suddenly get rid of him. After all, his family was divided between those who wanted to pull the plug on his uncle's life support and those who wanted to keep it on. For Takafumi, his uncle was just a stranger who divided his family. His uncle, realizing the uncomfortable situation, tried to prove that he was really in a fantasy world. He turns towards the table and says some crazy words, but nothing happens. Takafumi is almost certain that his uncle is crazy. Oji-san finally speaks in Japanese, and something happens. The water bottle and the glass start floating in the air, leaving Takafumi incredibly surprised. His uncle understood that in this world he needed to speak in Japanese, not in the language of the water world, for his magic to work. Takafumi realized that it was not true and tore up the documents. His uncle then asks how the Sega video game company is doing, as he was an addicted player of everything Sega produced. However, Takafumi says that in Japan, the market is dominated by Sony and Nintendo, and that Sega no longer makes consoles. His uncle was so disappointed that he used a magic spell to erase his own memory and forget that fact. Hey, attention please, the video is about to continue, but you, who are a good person and like to help others, I ask you to help this channel grow, because that way I'll be able to keep bringing new videos of new anime. Can I count on you? So follow this channel and leave a comment with your request for the next video. After a week since his uncle woke up, Takafumi decides to take him home and creates a YouTube channel to make money from his skills. Viewers end up believing that he is actually using special effects. Like any YouTuber, the uncle needs to learn to deal with fans and haters. The coolest thing about this anime is that the uncle is a magic that reads people's memories and displays them on a holographic screen, and this happens throughout the anime, allowing us to know the story and adventures of Oji-san in the other world. The uncle says that in the other world, everyone was incredibly beautiful, and he was seen as an orc for being so ugly in comparison to them. Amazingly, he managed to attract the attention of some women in the other world, but he couldn't realize it because he was young and inexperienced. How does this story end? Does he manage to find someone in the other world to have a relationship with? And how did he manage to come back to the real world? Click on this video here to continue following this story. Thank you.